Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Ginny and CDAPS. For anyone that isn't aware, we are in no control of the game. The game is sent to us remotely, hence the fairly speedy toss there from Ginny, but we very much do appreciate it. We are not going to miss a second of the action here today. Our quarterfinal day, day 2 here in Brazil. We've got Lost versus Team Liquid, and we're going to be heading to Night Labs to kick things off. My name's XR Troika, and I am joined here virtually by one of the only people that I'm ever joined by, and that's Demo. Demo, how are you doing?
Your only friend.
My only friend.
The only
I
friend
didn't want to admit that, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, it should be a good day. We've got, I think, a great matchup coming in. Liquid, Lost. Of course, these are two teams that we know very well. Two teams that we've seen compete at SI earlier this year. Let's just set the record pretty clean here, Ollie. Liquid should be winning this qualifier. That's the statement. That's where we're at.
I would agree. I don't think that there's many people out there that would argue that point too heavily with you. They should be there. This is what we expect from Team Liquid. We
like
expect
G2.
a certain level of play. Yes, exactly. It feels like deja vu from last week when we were doing Europe.
Liquid, as a side, have been around for ages, and obviously the big thing with Liquid is they've never really hit the big time. They've never won the major, never won the SI. That's an issue for this side. Look how close they've gotten on so many occasions, but it just never happened for them. And they've made, a fair amount of changes. We've casted these guys for a long time now, Ollie, and they always have to keep moving with the times, don't they? They always know that they need to get the best players in Brazil. They need, I think they have that pull, don't they? You think about being able to steal Volps away from W7M. What other team in Brazil could have done that?
Not a lot of teams have got the same pulling power that Liquid have. And that's top through bottom. You know that you're going into a quality ecosystem. You know that you're going in with very talented players. The chance to play with Nesk and Palu, for goodness sake, that's not something that everybody is ever going to get. And then obviously you've got the org side of it as well. And I know that Team Liquid, they do, like to operate a bit more as a family. And we've heard them speak about that on interviews multiple times. So it's a very tight-knit group. And as you said, with all that comes a certain level of expectation. So I'm going into this one today, and I'm going in with my eyes wide open. It's a game of Siege. Anything can happen. It really is about who performs on the day. But that little devil on the shoulder is saying, we should be back in Liquid here, because that's the team, in my opinion, that are going to come away with it. But Lost, they have, qualifications of their own, Demo?
Of course. Yeah. It's, I think Lost as a side, obviously very young in terms of experience compared to really the rest of the powerhouses inside of Brazil. We've seen them at SI. They did pretty good. I think it was a fairly surprising showing from them. And the change that they made was, hey, we need to get some experience. And they picked up Cameraman, who a player that me and you, we love. And I think having that veteran, he's nearly 30. And I think that's really going to help them, understand how the game needs to be played at the high level, because he's been there, he's done that, he's won the major, he's done something that Liquid had never done. So I think it's a really good clash to see between both these sides. An upcoming team who have added in a little bit more history to their side against a team that just needs to be winning this qualifier. They need to.
We're at about the minute point in the round now. We're going to be attacking onto that basement. A couple of kills have flown in quite early here for Lost. They've done a good job. They got the breach open very early on. They've now sent the ram in above to start ripping that floor open. They've picked an opener onto Nesk, and they've now taken down resets. Lagonis is in a very important position here, but he is going to get droned out by Dots, so almost certainly going to be somebody ready to challenge this. It's going to be a very important challenge from Dots, and he needs to make sure he wins it, but his teammates there to back him up. Great use of the double peak there. Bulbs does have a little bit of information above, but with 20 seconds left to go, isn't going to be able to do too much from up here. Picks himself one. Might start thinking about getting the plant down at some point now. We've still got Palu on the site, and Dots is going to be above, but this plant is going down, and there's not going to be a lot that he can do about it. Palu goes for a little bit of a swing, but Maya picked himself up his third. Volps now left chasing shadows here on this first floor. The diffuser already planted. Great start here for Loss. Going to pick himself up one on the long range angle, but we look at that time remaining. Might be playing Oryx, the fastest operator in our game, but Even Oryx is going to struggle in this occasion. Might be able to pick himself up a few exits, though. He's currently got 3. I'm just doing a little bit of stat padding for whatever that's worth. Dot's going to close things out there. An inevitable round at the point where the diffuser's planted and there's only one remaining player from Liquid on that first floor.
Just no refrags really from Liquid. They lost 2 men without really showing anything for it. I would say a very loose roam game. The roamers weren't really playing with each other. You know, Ness got picked off just by himself. Nobody in the vicinity around him from the defense. And once you get the man advantage, I always feel for basement sites, just across the game in general. You think about Clubhouse, you think about Bank. On such a big bomb site, which generally that's the way the basements are, there's always going to be multiple ways that you can attack that site. So having the extra man to send him down an area that maybe isn't as defended as heavily by the defenders, because they don't have the manpower to hold it, that's really going to see you over the line, and that's going to be the difference maker. So being able to pick up those early picks for loss were very vital for their success. Liquid, once you lose that roam game, you lose the vertical pressure, you lose the vertical pressure, you lose the site, you lose the site, you lose the round. That's the chain of events we have there.
It really is that simple. And you mentioned there the lack of refrags. That's not good enough, really. You know, you need to be hitting those refrags if you're going to be having that sort of extension into the roam, which you need to do on that site because there is a lot of destructible floor above you. Got to have that ability to either vacate the site and retake or challenge on that roam a little bit better. So we'll see how that develops and if it does become a recurring problem. Bans are looking fairly standard. I think the one that maybe raises a few eyebrows is potentially the book ban. That's something that we don't always see demo, but obviously there is a lot of destructible flooring and a lot of destructible surfaces in general here on this map.
Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked that we're not seeing the kind of hard breachers banned away, which has been something pretty common across the other regions. But Brazil not opting to go for that. I think today for Liquids, this is actually quite a tough battle for them. If you think about the other teams in the quals, it's a tough fixture. You know, you could have got some weaker sides in there. You think the Keystars Academy side, even the likes of Miners. You know, that could have been up there for Liquid, but they've drawn loss. Who, sure, they haven't had the greatest seasons. They had to obviously go through the open quals to get here, but they're still a good side. Like, on paper, they should be a good side. You know, we've seen that at SI. We know the prestige that Cameraman has. So it is certainly one that I think Liquid do have to take seriously. They do have to go all guns blazing for. And I suppose the other worry that we have, another storyline for Liquid is, you know, this team, you know, Nesk and Polo, I think they've overtaken Canadian as the chokers. They have. And they've really struggled whenever it comes to winning the games that matter. They just fall to the wayside. We've seen it happen twice this year, Ollie. G8 quals and the major. So I look at this team and think, whenever push comes to shove, they really need to show up today. And, well, they're doing it now this round with 3 kills. That's a lot better from Liquid, Ollie. A very quick execute. Tried to come in from loss, but Liquid have batted it back. And Cameraman is all by himself, drops into the hatch. He's a man through the rotate. Doesn't get the kill, though, but Nesk will trade back himself. Eliminate Cameraman. A quick round loss. Tried to pull a fast one, but Liquid ain't having any of it.
That's the Liquid we know and love. The plant was going down there and it wasn't too far away from actually completing, but it comes back to that. If you're not going to contest on the site, if you're not going to try and deny, you need to be there with that retake, and Liquid were able to hit that retake very hard there before it was really necessary. Leveling things up 1 round apiece, much better from them in that instance. And the mirror windows certainly provided a lot of value. Something that Lost are making great use of at the moment is the drone game. Think about the drones that they were using in round number 1. They had some really good information on some static players on Liquid, whether that was on their own game or inside of the site. Liquid have adapted. They've brought in the mute now, which I think is great. I think a mute is a must pick in this meta. And I think it's even more must pick in Nighthaven because there are so many good opportunities to use that mute jammer where you may be going through little, they're not quite corridors, but they're almost corridor-like rooms. So much potential to get some mute jammers placed out there and really start to deny some of that info. So nice to see that being brought out from Liquid in round number 3 as we head upstairs.
I'd like to see Liquid really stretch their legs. I think that this is what they need to do more whenever you're dealing with a side like Lost, who whenever they kind of see an opportunity, they'll go for it. I think that's the influence that Cameraman has. All you think back to that FaZe team where they were real big trendsetters, and even the meta that we have today. I just think W7M did what FaZe did and elevated that. But I think they were certainly, the real go-getters in terms of what we're playing with in Siege today. So you know that they have that quality to opportunity pick and just go for the throw if they get a chance to. So I think Liquid, they need to try and make sure that they can roam, I think, a lot better. That was what we've seen in round 1. Make sure you can deny, early information from Lost, cut their eyes down, don't let them see where your weaknesses are in the defense. Really make Lost have to work for it.
Already a little bit slower than the previous round. We're just now getting round to opening up some of those reinforcements. We do have an Ossa in play as well. There is a lack of grenades, in my opinion, for loss. I think nades on Nighthaven are a must bring. There are plenty of good positions that defenders can occupy, and especially when you start thinking about a mirror being left open and played, nades can be a fantastic piece of utility if you know that somebody is going to be behind something. Cameraman.
Oh.
That's not how we expect a veteran of the region to behave. The old exothermic self-kill. Oh dear.
I
can't remember the last time I saw that demo.
I can't comprehend it.
At least he's got the wall open.
I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. At this level of Siege. How is that? I don't know. I really don't know. It just, maybe pressure's got to him all that he can't deal with it.
Recess is going to be feeling the pressure here. He needs a bit of assistance with this Monty. That castle barricade is hurting the defenders a little bit at the moment. Especially given that it's allowed the Ossa to come in. There's a great amount of space now being gained by loss.
I don't think they're worried though, Wally. You can see a lot of players downstairs. You have a Solus, you have some C4s below as well. So Monty actually isn't that much of an issue. You can easily get the C4s down. Solus has since then rotated up. Dots is having issues here with 2 of them, but that's good information though. He knows that there's 2 of them towards Aqua side, and on shields to try and bait away the Solus. Paulu, there's the C4 kill. On the dash, Lagonis, on to Mayan. My word, Liquid. Just kill them all in the space of 5 seconds.
Brilliant gunplay there from Liquid. Lost really gained a lot of space, but just didn't do anything with it. Obviously, cameraman dying wasn't in the plan. But I don't really see how it would have been too much different had he still been up. A great use of the Monty and the Ossa, bring those shields, bring that ability to take ground and really hold it. But you've got to have something off the back of it, and I think that's where something like nades comes in. You walk through as the human drone that is a Monty, and you go, yeah, one here, one here, one here, get the nades sent out, and let's see what we're working with. Maybe that's the adaptation, at least for the next round, but we're going to be going downstairs once again. A great roam clear was performed by Lost when they attacked this in round number 1. Let's see how Liquid choose to respond. They are going to bring the pulse demo, so maybe potential for a couple of C4s. We've got a cap cannon and a bandit, both with one in pocket, so we know there's a lot of destructible floor on this site.
Certainly is C4 kind of meta, isn't it, on Nighthaven? That's what we've seen develop quite a lot. And I do think it's a better idea, probably, from Liquid to try and focus more on the C4s. Last time they actually left one of the site walls open, and that was a bit of an issue, because I think somebody got picked off, and it was the cap cannon site got picked off just by somebody swinging an open breach that was opened by the defenders. Oh, Volps, what are you thinking about? He goes for the jump out here. Maya is on the window. Holding on to the window. Volps. Oh, he doesn't know. Jumps out, he dies. Goes for the shot, so instead... I mean, hey, you have to credit him, Ollie. At least he had a suspicion that somebody's holding for him. Didn't give himself up that easily.
Spidey senses were tingling, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
He really, really knew that someone was on the other side of that. And we live in a game of one-shot headshots, you know? This is that's a challenge worth taking. If you were playing ranked, you'd be hitting the tab on that guy straight away. very many people on the site for Liquid. We've literally got Lagonis, which isn't too unusual.
Yeah.
He is on the pulse, so he can be calling out, look, we've got a little bit of presence over here. We've got somebody pushing in this way. And hopefully, if the communication is good, it should make getting these opening engagements a little bit easier from Liquid. And we're just going to see some of that information right now. But no, resets! Spends the C4. Cameraman fully redeems himself for the previous round. Parley will be there with a direct trade. He's backed up by some of the rest of his team now as well, as they're starting to think about maybe just dropping off here.
Yeah, that's a good play. I'll be honest, the resets, you need to be hitting those. You just can't. There's a guy who was on his drone, he looked at him and he 180'd you. I just don't know what happened. The resets just completely botched it. But a good rotate, has to be said though, from Liquid quickly getting downstairs. They still have 2 C4s they can play off alongside the Pulse. See the information being fed through. Still with those bandit wires on the bridge, you will have to try and open up some of the flooring to get rid of those bandit batteries, which they can do. But it doesn't even look like they've lost or interested in the main breach. They just want to try and play off the hatches, play off the vertical. Well, the little vertical that they have, this is maybe where the buck ban is coming in big for Liquid. We'll see now as the execute will start to come in, and Dots has just dropped in, but they haven't drawn bulbs, and he gets no! He doesn't get any! How does he not get any? But then he gets them from the grave with a Capcan traps!
Scrappy stuff here, 3 versus 3 with 15 seconds left. Lagonis, he has the information here. He still has a C4, but he's got a challenge to take first. Immediately picks the kill, goes for the toss. No point in detonating that. It's been shot out, but he's been swung on instantly. Nesk and Palu now have to try and make something happen. Nesk has been taken out upstairs. Cameraman, you think back to that kill that Resets missed. Wow. It all comes down to this. Cameraman picks up the final 2. Great round from Loss.
Oh, I thought that was brilliant from Cameraman. Knows that Liquid are going to be pressing that retake. We've seen them do it the first round, remember? And he read into that so well. You have to credit Maya also. In the site, by himself, knows he has to get the diffuser down. How's he not what?
Sorry. How has he not killed him?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's completely botched that. And, you know, Maya drops in, has to go for the defuse, loses his teammate, and the heads-up gameplay to know that I have to get this kill, and swings the doorway, confirms it, and then goes back for the plant. Cameron with a great read, drops in the 2v1, and Cameraman has the cover. He was everywhere. Everywhere on the map, Cameraman was there.
Fantastic play from Loss, really working around that, you know, heat of the moment, scrappy siege. And that's sometimes what these games come down to. It's not always pretty. Couple of kills there for either side that really on other days wouldn't have been. I've no idea how Resets missed his head, because Resets stopped shooting because his crosshair was just perfectly placed. I don't know, you'd have to go back and watch it super slow-mo. I imagine that these guys are playing on LAN again this week, that all the stuff has been on LAN in the past, so I don't know, it just seemed really strange. It looked like a guaranteed headshot, and Resets, he thought he'd done it, he stopped shooting, so just goes to show. Round number 5 now. Nice even game so far here on Nighthaven. This is, of course, a best of 3. Nighthaven being Liquid's map choice. So far, we're not really seeing that come through in the score, but it's still relatively early days. There's a chance for either side here to streak a bit of a lead at the half. All depends on how the next couple of rounds go.
Close game so far. Liquid really struggling with those basement defenses. Not working out well for them. They did have a lot more success than the other two, which is where they get to go now. Bobbin straight into meeting. He'll try and open up some of the wall, but here the Selmas get shot off, and he also falls himself. Resets onto the board. First kill for him. Took a peek into meeting. Scene 1. Falls back. Be looking for the re-engage. Nesk is beside him. All don't forget on top of the stairs. Nesk going to try and help his teammate. I don't know if he wants to go for it or not. Lost, they seem a bit stunned-eyed. They don't really know what to do now after losing that hard breacher.
We've not really seen Loss respond too well when that plan A hasn't worked out. Think back to the round that Cameraman died to the exothermic charge, it just sort of fell into
Yeah, that was it,
nothingness. So when things don't go their way at the start, it does tend to snowball a little bit. And Liquid happy at this point in time to just sit back. The clock's ticking in their favor and they still hold reasonable positions here. Cameraman's getting himself into a bit of a skirmish there. Will be taken out by Volps. Immediately traded 1-for-1. And Lagonis, he's actually been downed inside of the site. It's not going to matter. Dot's being the last alive. He's going to get taken out just before he, or just after, excuse me, he takes out Lagonis there. But they always had the numbers there. Liquid, they looked fantastic. You know, they put the pressure on in the early round, realized, hang on a minute, these guys are really taking the foot off the gas. We can just slow this right down here.
Yeah, Liquid not giving anything away. Like you mentioned, if Plan A doesn't work for Lost, that's it, it's bust. The idea for Plan B, Ollie, was let's just jump in kitchen window. We know that's not going to work. No way that's ever going to work. There needs to be another idea from Lost somewhere in there. It can't just be the one attack that they had. It can't be.
Something that I'm really surprised about at this point, Demo, as we enter round number 6, final round for Lost on the attack. We've not seen a single Ying.
We did see one.
I don't remember it, so it didn't have much impact.
It was round number 2 where they tried to play it fast in storage, and they got shut down, just all of them just within a minute.
Right. I just don't... I don't know. It just seems strange to not have a Ying play if it's available more often than not. You should be seeing it a couple of rounds, in my opinion, at least, because it's just such a fantastic tool for gaining space, shock and awe, really everything that goes along with it. It's one of the reasons why we see it so highly banned. I'm just thinking back in my mind to last week when we were watching the Europe Last Chance qualifier. We got Nighthaven a couple of times, and a lot of it was revolving around this Ying play. And a lot of it revolved around the multiplayer. And I understand that, you know, different teams have different preferences and region to region things are a bit different, but there are some things that usually translate quite nicely. And it just feels like a very different Nighthaven to the ones that we watched in Europe last week.
Yeah, Lost are trying to make Nighthaven look very clean. Oh, look how pristine this attack is. I think for where Nighthaven is in terms of its infancy of being a map in the competitive pool, we don't want to see the flashy plays yet. We want to see ugly Siege. We want to see teams grind this out. We want to see teams abuse the best things that they can.
Yeah.
But the attacks just haven't been doing so. They've relied, I think, a lot as well on Dash trying to just get like an early pick by himself. And game plan, what I've just seen, he just sat in garage, just let the guy kill him. He's got UMP, for goodness sake.
One day we are going to look at Nighthaven and we're going to compare it quite heavily to Clubhouse, but that day isn't going to be for a while yet. We need to see the scrappy Siege. We need to see some, you know, different things being tried. At the moment, trying to send a Nook in and pick up an opening kill and get the breaches open and, you know, have things looking pretty isn't really it. Where are the smokes? Where are the cutoffs? Where, you know, where's the plan going down in this round? Because that's a big win condition. I'm going to see Maya getting tagged up there as he tries to enter into the top of warehouse onto the catwalk. Dots should be allowed in through breach, but which castle barricade do you want to go for? I'm going to open up into warehouse and see if he can assist Maya a little bit here.
Castle barricades are causing havoc for them at the moment, and even place a breach in charge on that doorway. It's being held by Paulo. Open, don't tell me you're going to try and rotate round here. This is going to be a tricky one for him because Nesk is just ready and waiting. Cameraman coming from the stairs, a bit of barbed wire there that maybe slows his approach now. Nesk will get tagged up from the stairs and just tap fires his way through. Cameraman eliminates Nesk and gets a second one now. They are in advantage. Look at the garage players, Ollie. They're suffering heavily. Maya was down, has been picked up, but look at the HP of these players have lost. How are they going to break through this?
Lagonis has got a big part to play here, and especially with the time remaining, only 6 seconds. Dot, needs to start trying to get that diffuser placed down, and he will do just exactly that. But Maya, only player with the cover, and he is very low indeed. Lagonis going to be credited with that final kill. A little bit scrappier, a little bit more bloodbathy, what we expect. The result here going to Liquid. 4-2 so far at the side swap as they switch themselves onto the attack.
Did you see that play from Lagonis? Just sat in the middle of the room, behind a desk, didn't move, didn't flinch, let them walk in, knows that he has time to his advantage, springs up, gets an easy one. One thing that really struck me from Lost with, I would say, all of their attacks was lack of nades, which is a bit of a shock.
I said it in round 2, didn't I? There was no nades being brought.
There's a lot of different places you can get the nades tossed in that you can, from below as well. We've seen that a lot. Yes, I know we've had some operators get shifted around with nades. Iana has lost her nades. Fink has gained some nades. Gridlock has gained some nades. There's actually more nade operators now than what there was previously. So we have a little bit more of an influx, but still, I think Iana losing the nades. There is always a good debate with Iana now. Are the flashes in Con 6 more valuable? I don't know. You'll have to ask the Iana mains, and I think as time will develop, we'll see. I mean, you can kind of see right now from Nesk. No Iana, straight on the Fink of nades.
I mean, he's back. He's literally back. Think back to Nesk Finker.
Though. There's no LMG, though.
I'm not sure which is better at the minute.
The spear still sucks, by the way.
Is it still no good?
The kick of the recoil is still not great. Unless you have the stims, it's still difficult.
I mean, maybe that's just a skill issue, right?
It's not a skill issue.
Dots is gonna take Volps down there. I mean, you had the DMR demo. You can't call that a skill issue.
Just been swung. Just Dots. Just drive by. Nesk gets himself in. I mean, you look at the setup from Liquid. You can tell they're trying to play nades from below. If you get Nesk in below early, start wreaking havoc with some of these defenders. I'm surprised Polly don't have the nades. He has the smokes this time around. Almost loses his life, though. The opening will be made. Play dash, but nothing comes off it. So Liquid are on the back foot as it begins. I think also with Liquid bringing in the Monty, losing a player that early on is not good for them. You're already bringing the Monty in, which yes, we know is a great operator, but that's one less player with a gun.
Nesk's still on the hunt here for the Roma. Just gets the tap fire there and the clue that somebody is going to be down here. It's going to be Cameraman. Is there anyone here to pinch with him, though? We do have a presence outside of the window. Dot's going to pick up his second. Cameraman does get taken out there. Nicely timed stim. And resets. Is able to win that duel this time. Look at the health, though. We've got Lagonis full and healthy on the Monty, but we've got a very low resets and a very low Palu. Not a lot is going to send either of those two to the grave here in this round. The diffuser is in the hands of Lagonis, but with a man disadvantage as well. I'm not sure if you fancy Liquid's chances here to try and make something happen. Palu's being very patient on this vert, but not really got the time for it.
Even the smokes dash, that'll melt the attackers who are already pretty low on HP, but even that Monty, who we know that's big issue for Monty, is seeing that smoke alive with such little time. He can't really have the same influence as what you would want to. Paulu's still below. He needs to make a rotate up the staircase somewhere. And Lagonis sees, these rotates aren't good for him. Well, he has to unshield and jump in for that to have any impact. Resets creeping in, but see, he's playing a little bit more timid. All he knows, he doesn't have the HP. Paulu trying to hit from behind. A pistol kill comes out somehow. But there you go. Trades come in. Maya eliminates resets. Lagonis by himself will have to try and play off the pistols as Paulu falls himself. Tried his best, Lagonis, but Dots is there with the cleanup. Pretty stable job there from Lost. Nothing really worried them there from Liquid. They were happy enough just to sit back and let the time do the rest.
And that's how the defenders are going to win Nighthaven. You don't have to do all too much. You can just place your utility down, choose whatever it is that you want to play off. Is it a mirror window? Is it a castle barricade? Is it both? What walls are we reinforcing? Are we bringing denial? And you just figure all this out and you just sit and wait. Because it is on the attackers to make something happen, especially here on Nighthaven. And again, we commented on it. There were a couple of nades brought there by Liquid, but by no means did we see the value really out of those nades. I think that Nesk needed a bit more help on that roam clear. Resets did come in to assist him, but it was almost a little bit too late. Loss have grabbed one back. I mean, you look at what the defenders have got available to him, Demo. I mean, it's no real surprise that we saw a defender-sided half from Liquid coming out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 4-2 splits all the way. If you look at that lineup, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's...
Restam 5 segundos para inserção.
I don't know. I don't know. Surely the mid-season patches haven't really done too much to make teams all of a sudden reinvent the wheel. Shouldn't be. I would just like a little bit more just... you know, you kind of want a win con, don't you? I think both attackers, certainly at the moment, they've been playing very kind of passive. Looking to play it almost too safe, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, you know, they need to get stuck in there. You know, I think for the attackers, the fact that they get every hard breacher, especially Thermite, it means that impact tricking doesn't become so much of a pain. That's already a great advantage that you have as a side. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, we're going back to a lack of nades here. Haven't got a single set.
C4s. Plenty of them.
You need something to fight those C4s with of your own. You need some explosive potential because those C4s are going to be punishing. Even more so attacking onto this side. Cameraman kicks things off with a kill over onto resets. Volps will be there with a trade onto Dash, but Cameraman's not done. How is he getting challenged one at once like this? Maya, he's going to win his engagement. Oh dear, Demo. We've not even seen half the round and it's all down to Lagonis.
Yeah, poor round from Liquid. Didn't understand the principle of you have to sweep from top, middle, bottom. You cannot just go straight in the mid floor. Defenders will always try and hold that mid floor. That's where they'll live and die. You can see them bring in the reinforcements. They almost like forego. You know, some of the hatches don't get reinforced because they need the reinforcements elsewhere. You know, that's rookie mistakes there from Liquid. They should know to sweep from the top floor first of all, and then work your way down. Even seeing Liquid not bring, you know, a sledge, which has always been an operator that always sticks with me if that's Paulu's guy. You know, that's the operator that we always see Paulu playing, and it's a great pickup whenever you're dealing with soft destruction on this map, and then it also fixes your nade problem.
It does genuinely feel like it's a core lineup issue. And we've seen it from both sides. I don't think that Lost necessarily took the best things on their attack, and I really don't think that Liquid are taking the best things on theirs either. 4-4 as we level up here. Palu this time opts for the Ram. Now obviously that's not locked in. There's potential for that to change. It is a very good operator for ripping open the floor, especially on this site. But even still, you do start to question a little bit where those nades are going to be coming from, especially with the 6 picks that we're seeing. Nesk off the Finker onto the Lion. You have the Ying this time. Volps is going to make that change. I'll be honest, Emma, I don't even know if it's fast that Liquid need to be rolling with here, or if they just need to be taking a little bit more time for that full map clear, because that previous round, they would just seem to be running at people. We didn't get to see where Cameraman got the kills from, but he picked up 2, and it didn't seem like much of a big drama. There wasn't a huge firefight that was going on.
I think both teams have been very underwhelming on their attacks. You know, the core fundamentals that we've seen teams, you know, display brilliantly just have not been here from either team. Really don't know what to think of this game. I do like to see, though, that Liquid will be bringing in a Ying, which straight away, that's your win con. That's going to be your way into the site. But you still need to take that top floor. You know, vertical action, again, can be played inside storage. It's not safe to plant just by jumping in a window. You need to try and sweep above, which both teams, albeit, have really struggled with. You know, just the general roam clear has not been strong from either team. I think the defense have just had way too much control where they just shouldn't. You know, is it a case where they need to bring in operators like Jackal to help them out with stuff like that? I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing really stopping the drones here. We've got a Solace, sure, but we've not got a Mozu, we've not got a Mute. Shouldn't really be too much problem. There's only so much that a Solace can really achieve, and as we know, the caught in the gadget. I enjoy how I say that Solace is going to pick up 2 drones. So it seems like there's a lot that a Solace can achieve, but only if you send your drones directly at them. Use a hatch to open a C4 to open a hatch, excuse me. Not a bad use, really, if you're going to be trying to drop yourself off, if you feel the pressure's coming in. And well, Dash, he's going to be feeling it. Nesk finds his opener. Resets is now looking to work inside of this vertical angle here through the hatch. Liquid, seems as though they're just sort of following each other up there, Demo. It's like no one's got a mind of their own at the moment. They're all just going along the same lines.
I think it's actually looking pretty good for Liquid, being able to sweep that top floor, clear away the roamer, get that first pick on the board. Now you can start your vertical pressure. This will just open up the site even more so. Also having the hatches open, you know, that hatch that drops into the kind of lounge area, that's a strong one to have at your disposal. You can make a very quick dash straight into site if needed from that angle. Maya, aware of that said angle, is trying to hold the hatch now, but then goes to Candelas. Will flash him out. Nobody from Liquid are moving in on him right now. Maya's allowed to stay alive. Lagonis will go for the plant downstairs. Lobin will try and go for the kill. No! Misses out. Lagonis doesn't take an ounce of damage. Diffuser planted. And that can be held from above. This is now a tricky position for Lost to be in.
Very difficult retake now. Wonder if there's any information knocking around. You can't really see too much. We've got a couple of people on cameras, but bodies continuing to fall. They have managed to level it up 2-2. They do have eyes on that diffuser. Lobin can look to try and hold some cover here, but Resets really is in the hot seat. He wins this engagement, and it should be GG. There we go. Palu, he's able to take out from the vert. Really nicely held there from Liquid in the post plant. Much better on that roam clear as well. It didn't cost them anything this time. Cost them a couple of drones, but they got that all-important opening pick.
Yeah, it's 10 times better from Liquid. That's what we want to see. That's the fundamentals. Play basic. Clear the roamers away. Use the vertical action. Secure the plant. Look how easy it was in that post plant. Obviously, Lobin, all he could do was retake. There was no other play he could have went for. He wins that, then yeah, it gets interesting, but you just know that Liquid have everything on lock at that point. It's a tough one for Lost to swallow. I wouldn't say that Lost played that horrendously. You just give the attackers too much space. You know, they were basically relying on Lobin doing his job downstairs and stopping that plant go down. But look at where it was planted. Just on a little bit of height, just on that table. You can't get the kill just shooting for the floor, and you have to get a certain angle. Lobin couldn't find that angle. And like I said, once that diffuser goes down, there's no chance you're retaking that. So Liquid, good to see them get on the board with the attacks, but they still need more. They are leading. This is their map pick. And we said it's a big day for Liquid, a big weekend for Liquid. They need to be winning this. They just have to.
No lower bracket either in the LCQ. When you are out, you are out. Adds even more pressure onto every single map here, and really want to be going into it with your own map pick in the bag.
What's their SI chances?
Liquids.
Yeah.
Liquid are guaranteed, I think.
Are they? Just because they got second place?
Yeah. I think so. Currently, yeah, confirmed points. They're currently in position 9 on the table.
Yeah, they're in. Yeah, they're in the green. Okay, well, I suppose that's good news for Liquid, of course. But still, you should be at the major. You know, you mentioned before, it's not just the team and history they have, but the organization all across esports. It's a massive, massive organization. And for them to miss out on... You know, they'd be missing out on half of the majors if you think about it. Only have the 2. They need to be there.
I mean, it's the same storyline that we were sort of discussing with G2 last weekend. It was very much G2 as an org. You expect that org to be at the major. Liquid, you expect that name to be at the major. So there does come that extra level of pressure onto these players. Loss, of course, we've seen what they can do internationally previously. Obviously, there's been a bit of a change now coming through. So I don't know how I would fancy either of these two teams' chances off the performance we've seen so far today. But it's only one map of Siege. Opening kill onto Lagonis just as his Selmas are exploding. So is he. Dots. Going to be very low. It was Lobin that was credited with that first kill. Dots does still have a C4, but not really in much position to be taking very many gunfights here. Got Dash upstairs as well, just trying to hold a little bit of ground here. AMP just a little bit mistimed there. Things aren't going too well on this roam clear, though. The retake is strong. Neski's going to grab one back, going to send the nade through. If he cooks it, might have a good opportunity here, and a swing will certainly seal the deal. Look at him going back to back here. They've dragged this one back out of nowhere. It was 2 versus 4 only a couple of moments ago, and now we're in a 2v2.
Oh, we're getting SI-21 flashbacks, Ollie, with these two. Whenever they're on point, they're a difficult duo to take down. They have single-handedly swept through this entire defense. How Lost have let that slip is beyond me. But Nesk and Pauly do what Nesk and Pauly does best, and that is kill everything that moves in the post plant. Cameraman, oh, he's been castled out. Oh, what a horrendous castle to be looking at in the 20-second mark. You have to push in, you have to go for the swing. But look at that. Roll back. What year are we in? Rolling back the years.
I'm telling you, Finker with nades means that Nesk is back.
That's what I call 2019.
That is going to put Liquid on a map point here. That's what we talk about when we talk about the duo that is Nesk and Pauly. Because it isn't always apparent. It isn't always evident. But there's moments of magic like that that happen. Timeout for loss. Is it a little bit too late? Potentially. Gives Liquid chance to discuss between themselves as well ahead of this important round.
Well, that's a tilt round, isn't it? That's where you take that time out.
Absolutely. There's no way you should be losing a 4 versus 2 like that.
Just one of those things where you have it all in your hands and it just slips through. And it's not much you can really say apart from you blew it. And they did. You look at the positions where Nesk and Pauly were. They were just together. And all they could do is swing an open breach and a doorway. That's it. It's not as if they're getting pressure from behind. I'm pretty sure they still had like a long mirror window as well to hold on to the single door and electrical. They just gave the kills away one by one by one. Even cameraman rotating below with the C4. Why not just wait and then use the C4 to kill the guy as he plants behind? You know he's planting behind pillar. There's nowhere else he's going to be able to plant that avoids that mirror window apart from pillar. Therefore, as he's planting, you can C4 safely and not be shot by Pauly holding onto the doorway and just simply C4 him. I don't know what the need was to go below. Just stay on site, play guns up your teammate. You left your teammate in such a difficult position. And by the time you rotate, you've lost half the time for the diffuser.
Seems as though the time has paused as well now. I'm not sure if we've got a small technical problem. I don't think we're frozen. I think it's genuinely just paused. Yeah, we can see people changing their spawn locations. And resume. I do enjoy the not knowing, and it's just a little bit random. Downstairs is where Lost can potentially make their final stand here. Liquid are going to be looking to take this one as a 6-4. And, you know, looking back over the course of the game, if we look and see just exactly how Liquid have approached these attacks, they've definitely improved over the last couple. They've got that huge clutch factor, which obviously helps. They should not be winning the previous round. You know, that just shouldn't happen if they're 2 versus 4. But they've got that potential and they've got that clutch factor, so why not use it if you've got it and if you need to? Very explosive lineup here from Lost. They've got 3 C4s in pocket. We are seeing the nades come through this time from Liquid as well. There was a Ying threatened, but it has been 6 picked off. I was thinking for a time we're going to see a slightly quicker round, but I don't think that that's going to be the case here.
Just want to see Liquid do the basics right and go for that sweep through. And lack of soft destruction, albeit they do have a couple of breaching charges, but I'd rather have, you know, your sledges in this scenario. Again, this room game is pretty loose, it looks like, from Lost. There's not a ton of them. So the very top floor, but still enough that Liquid have to worry about. Cameraman in the mid floor as well. Dots. He's a brave man, playing a 1-speed Warden. Very brave man.
First Warden we've seen today. Not something that you can usually say as you enter round number 11.
Oh, not gonna have much impact. Look at the lineup. Not a smoke, not a flash in sight. All he has is just that gun, 1.5x. Oops. Cooked and all show. Dash takes a lot of damage and has to try and back away. Cameraman is there, though, eliminates Volps. Nesk, he knows where he is, just has to go for the pre-fire. It's a dead Dash. Nesk hunting for Cameraman now as well. See Cameraman playing it slow, playing it patient. Just waiting for Liquid to waste more time on this hunt.
Cameraman happy to spend that time as well. We've got Maya just threatening on the staircase for a little bit of support if necessary. Roam clear isn't too ferocious at the moment, and Cameraman's going to see even more success here. That little bit of a flirt on the staircases from Maya has worked out perfectly. Resets and Palu this time. Lobbing. He's going to find himself a freebie here. Palu, no idea that somebody was at the bottom of those fish stairs. It's happened again, Demo. Look at the drones that are available for Liquid. They've still got 4 drones. And we've just not used them to find out where these roamers are. A real lack of info.
They're going sideways. You have to sweep from the top and not just push in through kitchen, in through aqua stairs. You need to go top bottom. Look what happened. Sure, they killed the guy in aqua, but then a retake comes in. And Lovin, you know, cleans it up. Pretty easy round for him. Didn't really have to do a lot. Got pretty easy kills, albeit, you know, probably won't even looking at him. The shotgun from that range is always going to get your kill. Just Liquid showing us there's not a lot left in the tank, it looks like, Ollie. They're maybe wavering a bit here. Even though they are winning, I wouldn't say it's been convincing for me for how Liquid's been playing. I think it's been a bit of a sloppy start for them.
I would agree. I think it's been fairly sloppy for both sides, really. I don't think we're at this scoreline because both teams have played incredibly well and countered each other fantastically. I think we're there because there's some real basics that are being, you know, missed out. Roam clears from both teams. It's been pretty poor. There's no way that you should be having people just a roamer shooting somebody in the back. Somebody that's just stood at the bottom of a staircase, just shoot somebody in the back. Yeah, you've got a man disadvantage at that point, but where's the info?
Still have one more chance, Liquid, to close it out here on Nighthaven. Or else overtime is where we'll be headed. Look at the lineup from Liquid, Ollie, and you can see that they have the Thermite Thatcher combo along with the Ying. They could just try and go very fast in through breaches. You know, having the Thatcher always tells me that you just want to get the breach open as quick as you can. And if you're getting the breach open as quick as you can, you probably want to use that as fast as you can also. I would expect to see a full garage clear. You know, you take control of Rafters, you can then start to rotate around, try and target, you know, Aquaside, pushing the backside of the site, along with having Catwalk, but oh, that's going to cause issues. What a jump out from Dash. Out of all the people he could have picked off, that's a great one to get. You take away Volps on the Ying.
We haven't seen too much aggression from the defenders of that nature. Certainly no runouts yet. A great time to put one out from Dash. Likely that that's going to get tricked off as well. Unforgivable, especially if you're going to be bringing the Thatcher. You're going to want to try and remove any ability for somebody to bandit trick. It's the only vulnerability that you have. And with it, you've lost an important piece of utility in an exothermic charge there. Team Liquid need to try and stabilize and need to try and come up with a little bit of a plan as to how they're going to approach this. Dash is pretty low. So there is that going for them, but I mean, you're clutching at straws if you're going to be counting that. Nesk on the backstab. Can he make something happen?
He's going to need to. Liquid look as if they're grasping at straws with some of these plays. Loss. Holding firm as they can. Breach in charge placed by Paulu. Uses good sound coverage. Maybe. Liquid to make a play. Cameraman is on the other side of that castle barricade. holding onto the door. It gets opened now, and cameraman has to back away, but nothing comes off it. Still don't really know what Liquid want to do. Shuffling outside, Ness rotating upstairs, Polly going below, Diffuser headed towards Catwalk. Again, for Lost Ollie, look at the patience. They know they don't have to move. Don't be Liquid who have to make the plays. Lost don't have to do that.
Lost have still got a C4 in the hand of Dots as well. A Lion Scan comes out, trying to force something from these defenders, but they are locked in. They do not need to move at all. I believe that was a pre-placed C4 right there. An important engagement from Cameraman 1. Maya going to pick a second. Look at Cameraman go. What a game he's had. We ragged on him for dying to that exothermic, but he has redeemed himself and then some. Palu, he was caught out downstairs, and he's now got 15 seconds to get 5 kills. And if you've seen Siege before, you will know that that is almost an impossibility. He's going to pick one onto Lobbin, but I don't think that anyone else is going to really give themselves up. Maya going to collect that final kill and confirm that we are headed into an overtime.
We are. Liquid just faltering once more. Both sides in the attacks have not been strong whatsoever. Just the fundamentals are all over the place. I really don't know what to say about either team. Just basic understanding of the map, just it's not there. You look at who gets the defense. You would fancy Liquid now, Ollie, just because they get that side start and how the game has went for both teams. I just want to see Lost just go for something crazy. You know, what do you have to lose at this stage? You can't keep doing the same thing again. That didn't work for you. Only attacks they won was on the basement. They're dealing with a top floor attack.
You just get the feeling that this is going to go to an 8-7 because we've got such a defender-sided game right now. And as you mentioned, neither team having a good grasp of how to effectively attack onto this map. The 6 picks aren't filling me with confidence. It's kind of just going from one shade of beige to another. It's very bland. We're just... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Someone's painted a little bit of red on the wall, Demo. Someone said, no, we need a feature wall in this room. We can't just go for... We can't just go for the color that everyone has in the house. We need to have a nice red wall in this one. We're going to bring the Ying to do it.
Love to see you decorate a house.
I'm actually quite good at the old painting and decorating.
But you're a bit of an all-rounder with some of the jobs you've had.
Yeah, very handy.
Tree Surgeon's always the one that sticks out for me.
Yeah.
You know, how you got that doctorate to work on trees is beyond me. But I'm sure you studied very hard for that.
7 years, mate.
Old slog. I want to see Lost with something about them. Too slow has been a big issue for the attacks also, and the time management has not been good. And I think that mostly comes down to teams where if the plan A doesn't work, they take so long figuring out a plan B that by the time they thought about plan B doesn't work because they don't have the time to do plan B. That's what it feels like.
I don't really know what we're waiting for here as Lost. They just seem to love to spend a minute just not really doing a lot. We've got a breach open now, which is good. I'm not sure if we've really got anybody too committed into the building just yet. Starting to get main breach open as well.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? He put the thermite charge on the wall. The Selma beside it, the Selma popped open, and it blew up the thermite charge also.
The timing on that was terrible. Anything could have happened. You could have had a C4 coming out. Anything could have happened.
Are we sure this is Lost and Liquid? Are we sure this is definitely these two teams playing? Because it feels like we're watching a much lower quality of teams here. So slow, basic mistakes like that. They're not even in the building and they've got a minute left. What do they have? Like, what are they doing? What are they, like...
I don't think I've ever been on the roof of this map.
This is...
Ever.
horrendous.
And so far, we've had Lost spend nearly 2 minutes.
Like, where's Cameraman? He's dropped diffuser off on that wall. They have the bandit trick. Oh! Bro, this is like This is, but I mean, this is one of the worst Night Havens I've seen. Like, what are they actually doing?
Harley's coming under a bit of pressure now as the pinch is eventually going to have to happen. He's going to find one onto cameraman. This should be an easy cleanup here for Liquid in all actuality, but no, they're going to fall. Couple of great kills coming in from Lost here. Lagonis, hello! You've got to hit this C4, friend. Go for it. It's going to land. It stops the plan dead in its tracks. 1 versus 1. He's going to have to make his way back up these stairs. It is going to be a retake, but at least he's got a bit of information to go off. The fact that this has come down to a 1v1 is criminal. Gets a glimpse there, but he's got a couple of tricky obstacles to try and navigate. Can start to push himself up, but no, gets taken out. Maya! Oh my, oh my. A calamity of errors. And somehow Lost come away with a round.
I just don't know. Like, I'm done. I'm broken.
That was, I mean, the fact that that came down to a 1 versus 1 after essentially nothing happening for 2 minutes. Very, very shocking.
Why did the bandit not bandit trick the double wall? Why'd that not happen? It just depends who holds that top floor. Both teams, I think, have actually done pretty well on those sites, either or. But it's just been the top and bottoms. Completely messed up, I think, the way that they should be playing. Where we're going to go looks to be downstairs. I just want to see Liquid go from top, middle, bottom, site, plant, win. That is the sequence. That's all I want to see them do, is just actually clear away the roamers. Because you know they're going to roam. You know that for a fact from Loss. Just Liquid, please. That's all I ask.
Hopefully they've heard you. They're in a timeout right now. Obviously, we've just come out of the tech pause, straight into a Liquid tactical timeout. Things were looking good for Liquid a couple of rounds ago. Now they have a match point against them here, a match point for Loss. A win here would, for either team, would see us go on to Consulate, which is our second map, with Bank as our decider, if required. Honestly, with the way that this game's gone so far, I wouldn't be surprised if we see all three, just because there's not a lot separating these two. I don't know if that's going to change necessarily when we get onto a different map. There's been a good clutch factor from both sides, and that Liquid have had a fantastic clutch factor with Nesk and Palu going back to back. They had a nice little duo moment. On the flip side of that, we've seen good clutches from the side of Loss, most notably in the previous round. Maya picking up the plant in the 1 versus 1 and then securing the kill to close out the round. Overtime, so sides switch back and forth every single round, and now it is Loss's turn to defend here. Full 6-pick for Liquid.
Yeah. A lot of changes. Ram makes an appearance, so an actual decent softer structure, rather than breaching charges, which has kind of been the main way that Liquid have tried to deal with that. See, Ness comes in with Diana with flashes. That's always a weird one looking at that now. Diana without the nades. Let's hope. Let's just see if they actually sweep properly. I really hope they do, Ollie. It looks to be maybe just one roamer in the top floor. What I'm seeing right now. Oh, maybe two. I think one guy in towards the garage also. Maya, the roaming Mira by himself. Towards kitchens where he's gonna sets, knocking on his window. I'm aware of that. It's better. I like to see this drone work. Find out where they are, Nesk above, and that's what we want to see. Yes, Liquid gets that first pick on a very important operator also. Being able to take out that Solus is very key to, I think, the success of Liquid in this round. Loss have shown that they're happy enough, Ollie, to forfeit site if needed, as long as they know that they have a Solus who can maybe try and stop that plant going down. So taking out a big win condition for Loss, that's going to set Liquid up nicely now.
Yeah, they've played really well off the back of that info, haven't they? Whether it's been a Valkyrie or a Solus, either or. Volps is going to have to try and take this engagement now. The stun comes in along with the Lion Scan, but Maya, he's going to be the only player that sees some success out of that. We're potentially going to spend a second Candela at trying to remove Dash from the bottom of the stairs. And as we can see, that one didn't actually catch him. Palu trying to work vertically now. Dash will eventually get himself into a gunfight there. Another stun comes in and another one to be unsuccessful. Volps will find that kill though. It's taken a lot. 3 Candelas for 1 Roamer isn't the best trade possible, but at least it's got the job done. Lagonis trying to make something happen now from outside. But his teammates are falling around him, and with his positioning right now, he's leaving Palu and Nesk in a bit of a 2 versus 3.
Cameraman not wanting to move Maya. C4, and how has he got 2 of them? Sure, you've killed the down player, and then he gets away. How has Cameraman been able to slip through that? What an angle from Palu. But he can also not secure kills. Oh, Liquid, it's happened again. It's falling all around you. Agonis should have had Cameraman dead. The rights, he waited the entire round for him. And he got the opportunity. Completely fluffed it. Palu doing some very late vertical action. Let's see if he can get Lagonis down through the cargo stairs, but doesn't know if he wants to go for that. Maybe the hatch will be the option for them in towards Garage. Going to have to be Ollie. 15 seconds to go. Palu, you're going to have to drop with him. Lagonis has diffuser, drops in now in towards Animus, trying to face check. They have no idea where the players have lost are. They're just tucked away in sight. Plant has to go down now. An open mirror window will face Lagonis. The swing in from Cameraman eliminates Lagonis, and there's no time left for Palu. Loss. Take away Liquid's map pick. They win Nighthaven. An ugly game from all sides, although it was not convincing from either team. But you have to give credit to Loss. They walk away with a win.
They walk away with a win, and they walk away with a couple of standout players as well. Think back to the Cameraman rounds. Think back to the Maya rounds. They had some really big, impactful plays there. And Liquid, they weren't on the money today.
Nope.
Loss weren't particularly on the money either, but they got it